back to In the Can. Right now we're going to talk about The Hero. It's one of the buzziest films that is debuting here at Sundance. We have Brett Haley here as the director, screenwriter, editor, water boy, everything else with the film, right?
PA, I did everything on set.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to. The
Sometimes.
dog walker.
No, we had a great crew on this one. A lot of people pitched in. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk The Hero. Sam Elliott, you're bringing him back. Tell us a little bit about the film.
Yeah, the film is was really my co-writer Mark Bash and I worked with him on our last film, I'll See You in My Dreams. I became really close with Sam. Really enjoyed him as a friend and as an actor. And I told him, I said, I'm just going to write something just for you because selfishly I'd like to see 90 minutes of Sam Elliott.
Which we all thank you for, by the way.
And and that's what I'm sort of getting back. So I feel like I'm onto something. I feel like Sam has this, incredible, he's an icon, but he's also someone that I think has mainly been seen as a Western icon or, in sort of genre movies like Roadhouse and things like that. So I said, let me try and give you something where we can see all the different sides of you, all the different facets. He's incredibly sensitive in this film, incredibly vulnerable, very funny. And he gets to show off, I think, his acting chops in a way that we haven't seen. So it's very exciting. But he plays a guy named Lee Hayden, who's sort of like, I describe him as a sad version of himself.
Aww.
He's a Western icon, but he has no success, and he's kind of a pothead, and he sits around all day. And it's sort of about him looking back on his life and his legacy and what he wants to kind of fix about the things that he's done wrong in his life. So he's trying to kind of make things right.
Everybody kind of wants that opportunity.
I think we can all relate to that. It's a universal theme of like we go through life and then we look back and it's like what mistakes have we made? And as an actor or a filmmaker, there's this idea of legacy, this idea of like what will I be remembered for? And I think he starts with that sort of surface idea and then it goes much deeper. Well, what he should be remembered for is probably more to do with his personal relationships because at the end of the day, I'm a believer that those are really the things at the end of the day that matter. Your family, your friends, your loved ones. So he goes on that journey and comes to hopefully realize that. I won't tell you what happens at the end.
Did you write this specifically for Sam Elliott to play?
Absolutely. In fact, there's no person. If he would have said no, then we just would have wasted our time writing this movie.
Really? You didn't have anybody standing by, your second choice?
I don't think there's anybody else who could have done it. It was that specific to him, truly. Like, there's just reference after reference to who we know as Sam and his sort of iconic status. That voice, the mustache, it's all there. And I think the audience knows exactly kind of this character and who he is and where he is as soon as the movie starts without us having to do anything.
Awesome.
Which is really great.
We have a clip that you were nice enough to send along, so let's take a look at The Hero. Fantastic. You could just recite the encyclopedia and I'd be happy, of course. Now, 2 years ago, you brought us Blythe Danner with I'll See You in My Dreams and Sam Elliott.
That's right.
You seem to be, at least in these last two films, working with an older subject matter, older actors. Why is that?
Well, the first film came about in a really organic, natural way. I wanted to tell a specific story about loss, and I felt it necessary to tell that from a perspective of an older person because it would have more weight and more authenticity. So that was just a story that I wanted to tell. And then I got inspired by Sam. So it just so happens that the lead of my next film is Sam, and he happens to be a man of a certain age.
Sure.
I would say this film is a lot less about being a certain age. I do think he's looking back on his life and sort of the decisions he's made, but I think a 20-year-old could do that, a 30-year-old could do that. It's not necessarily specific to being Sam's age, although we do deal with some age stuff in the film because I think, anybody, at that point in their life is sort of thinking about that. So it was just sort of like happenstance that we really just wanted to build a showcase for him, and he happens to be Sam Elliott, he happens to be the age he is, so we kind of just went with it. But you can see in the clip there, you've got Laura Prepon, you've got Kristen Ritter plays his daughter, Nick Offerman is incredible, he plays his drug dealer. And it was just really great to also have like a little bit more of that kind of age difference in this particular film.
Well, your subject matter definitely was resonating with people because I'll See You in My Dreams was the big moneymaker of 2 years ago Sundance.
That's weird to hearing you say that, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Business Insider says that The Hero is one of the 18 best films at Sundance. IndieWire says it's one of the 7 hot films to pick up. Is that pressure for you, or do you even pay attention to that?
I try not to pay attention, but of course it's pressure. I think more than anything, you just want, obviously getting into Sundance is such a huge accomplishment. And that alone, just to be here is such an honor. I think at this point, it comes down to not wanting to let people like Sam down. I wrote this movie for him and want to see people respond to him, because that was the whole idea of this, was to give him that 90 minutes to shine. And so I guess at this point, I just, you get to that point where you're just like, I just hope people like it. I just hope people enjoy the film and can get something from it. I like the idea of connecting. Instead of just sort of making an entertaining film or something that's very serious, but I like to kind of, mix everything together and make a film that truly connects with people on universal themes. And I hope that this film does that too, but you never know what the response is going to be. So of course, I didn't sleep too great last night.
Because do you ever get used to watching your film in front of, with a whole room full of strangers? Granted, they're film lovers.
Yeah, no, there's no better place in the world to watch a movie with people, an audience, than at Sundance. So it's the best place to start because they're so excited, they're so hungry for the film. There's so much love of cinema here, and you can just feel it. So that's a great place to kick off, and you hope that they go for it. You hope that it's not like crickets in the room, because then you're like, oh boy, what happened? But I think I'm just so excited. I've never seen the film with more than, say, maybe 20 people at once. Now I'm about to watch it with 500 people at the library tonight, and I'm obviously extremely excited, but you obviously want people to love the movie. That's why I make movies, to share them with people and hope that they connect with them and love it.
What was your favorite part of this movie?
There's a scene, and I won't give anything away, but there's a scene with Sam Elliott and Nick Offerman that just had a special magic to it. And I can't really explain it other than we were shooting it. We were shooting it, and I could just feel it, and the crew could feel it, and Sam could feel it, and Nick could feel it, and it just sort of, I get kind of chills thinking about it. I cannot wait to watch that scene with an audience, because I think Sam does something so fun. It's oddly funny and then oddly emotional and moving and all these many things at once, which is what I try to do with all my films.
Sounds
make them laugh,
amazing.
Make them cry.
At the same time.
Sometimes at the same time, if you can, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Wendy. I appreciate it.
The Hero, U.S. Dramatic Competition, so vote for it if you get a chance to get into the movie. It debuts tonight at 9 o'clock. So thanks so much for being with us, Brett, and thank you for all the other folks who were here with NCAN this morning. We will wrap up, get a whole bunch more Sundance coverage for you, and be back tomorrow morning.